Hello, today we're going to make a fresh fruit salad. Now when we make this in school we ask you to bring in a plastic box like this. It can be a lunch box or an old ice cream container. So you can take your fruit salad home in this, it won't leak and it won't break. But if you're making a fruit salad at home you could choose to use a very pretty dish, but check with your parents first before you do that. So in the bottom of the box we're going to put about 1 centimetre of orange juice or pineapple juice or whatever you've got open at home or whatever you want to bring into school. So in the recipe book it says to bring in 1 small container of juice, but I've only got these big ones at home, so I'm going to use the orange up and then put a little bit of pineapple in, mix them together till I've got about 1 centimetre at the bottom of my box. I'm going to put that aside. The first fruit we're going to prepare is an apple. When we cut an apple, we use something called the bridge grip. So if you're right-handed, you hold the knife with your right hand and make a letter C with your left hand and put it over the apple. If you're left-handed, hold the knife in your left hand and make the C with your right hand. So here's our bridge, here's our knife, and we're going to put the knife right through the bridge. An apple's quite hard, so you'll need to rock the knife back and forwards to cut it in half, like that. And then we're going to take the flat side of the apple and turn it onto the board, and that makes it nice and stable. We're going to put our letter C, our bridge grip, over the top again, and we're going to cut through the middle and repeat with the other piece. Next we've got to remove the core here. So at home you may see people doing it like this, but we don't encourage you to cut into your hand. So we put it with a flat side to the board. We put our knife at a 45-degree angle and we cut the core out of the apple like that. So I'll show you again. So this is something called a pincer grip. So we're going to hold the top of the apple now nice and steady. Our knife's at 45 degrees and we cut the core out. And I'll repeat that with the other 2 pieces. So I've got 4 pieces of apple now. I'm going to put my bridge grip over the top again. And I'm going to make 2 cuts down that piece of apple lengthways. I'm going to turn it round, claw grip at this end, come across to dice my apple. So again, bridge grip over here, 1, 2. Now if you find it too tricky to hold all of those pieces together, you can come across and cut 1 piece at a time. It'll just take you a bit longer. So that's my apple dice there. I'm going to put it into my orange juice, my pineapple juice. Now when we cut our apple and our pear up, we need to get it straight into the juice and get it covered in juice, and that will stop the apple and the pear going brown, and that's called enzymic browning. We don't want that to happen, and then the acid in the juice will prevent that from happening. So we're going to cut the pear up next. We're going to cut the tip of it off there. And then we're going to use our bridge hold again. It's exactly the same as for the apple. We're going to cut down the middle of the pear. This is quite a long pear, so I've turned it round now and I'm going to come from the other end. We're going to put the flat side to the board, cut each of these halves in half again, like that. Remove the core. It's not normally quite so much of a core in a pear. And then come down probably for this piece just once and dice it up. I'm going to do that for the whole pear and add it into the juice. Next we're going to prepare the orange. So to start with, we're going to just cut a little bit of the top and the bottom off, and that will help the orange sit securely on the board. And then with my knife I'm going to follow the curve of the orange round to remove the pith. So here's the first stroke. There we are, you can see I've removed all of the pith. Come round, follow the curve round. Don't forget to tuck under a little bit at the bottom because the curve follows through underneath. Make sure you get all of the pith off as you go round. This is quite tricky. This is the hardest thing that you'll prepare unless you have a go at doing a mango at home. That's quite tricky as well. So I'm nearly there now, all the way round. Last piece, like that. So you can see we've got the orange ready to segment. So you know that an orange has lots of different segments, a bit like a Terry's chocolate orange. You can see in between here the membrane that separates each segment, and we're going to cut down so that we remove the membrane and only get left with the orange segment, like that. So then we don't have any of the nasty white bit or the membrane in our fruit salad. So I'm going to go all the way round to show you once more. Cut down there, remove that piece, and I'm going to work my way round now. And then for each of my segments of orange, I'm going to cut them into half. If they're big segments, you might want to cut them into thirds, but I think halves would be fine for this orange. And when I've cut them all up, that one's going to go into 3. I'm going to add them to my pear and apple mix in with my juice. If you've got any bits of orange that have got some of the actual orange still on the pith or the peel, you can just squeeze those over your box and get all the juice into your box. And once you've cleared your chopping board, you can scrape the rest of the juice that's on your board into your box as well. Don't waste any of that lovely juice. Now you can see that I've washed my grapes and I've had them on a piece of kitchen paper just to absorb the excess moisture. Then you'll need to pull the grapes from the vine and cut each one in half. So our bridge grip now is just between our thumb and our finger. It's a tiny bridge at the top and bottom of the grape, and we're going to cut through the grape and just cut each grape in half. And I'm going to do that with all of the grapes on here and then add them to my box. So my fruit salad's coming along quite nicely. We've added the 3 ingredients that we ask you to bring into school, and the rest is really up to you. You can choose any fruit you like. The recipe book says to put 2 more fruits in, but if you're making it at home and you've got more time to do your preparation, you can put in as many fruits as you like. I wanted to show you a fruit that you actually have to use a peeler on, so I'm going to prepare a kiwi. So again, I'm going to chop the top and the bottom off, and this is called topping and tailing. And then I'm going to take my peeler and just come and peel off the very outside like that, all the way round. So you might have a peeler that's straight like this, or you might have a peeler that's more of a Y shape. We've got both in school for you to use. Come all the way round, and then we can cut it up. It's quite slippery. Make sure you don't drop it, especially on the floor. If you do drop it on the floor, just go and run it under the tap. Give it a rinse. So I'm going to prepare my kiwi now by my bridge grip on the top, bringing my knife through the bridge to cut the kiwi in half, putting the flat side on the board, cutting it in half again like that, so I've got 4 pieces, and then cutting each piece like that into 4 more. You can choose how many pieces you want to cut it into. If you're feeling clever, you could hold these 2 pieces together and come across like this. I'm using my pincer grip now, a bit like a crab, at the end of the kiwi to hold it together, and add that to your box. If you want to add strawberries to your fruit salad, you'll need to hull them. So this green bit at the top is where the strawberry was attached to the plant, and we certainly don't want that in our fruit salad. So we're just going to slice that off. If it was the summer and your strawberries were lovely and ripe, you could probably just twist it out, but these aren't that ripe, so I'm going to have to use my knife to cut the top off. Don't cut too much off because strawberries are very expensive and we don't want to waste it. We want to make sure we get rid of the green and this white piece here, which won't be very nice in our fruit salad. It won't be sweet at all. So you can add as many strawberries as you want to. Once we've de-hulled them, we're going to cut them. So again, bridge grip over the middle, cut it through like that. And then I'm going to cut these again. So I'm putting the flat side to the board to make it stable, and I'm going to cut them in half again. So each strawberry I'm cutting into 4 pieces, and then I'm going to add them to my fruit salad box. Next, I want to show you how to prepare a stoned fruit. So examples of stone fruits are plums, nectarines, peaches, apricots. Cherries have stones as well, so you'd prepare them all in a similar way. So I'm going to get rid of that little tip there. Now the stone is in the middle, so I can't cut directly in half. I'm going to put my bridge grip over the top. I'm going to cut it until my knife hits the stone, And then holding my knife still, I'm going to gently rotate the peach or the nectarine like that till I get back to the beginning. So my knife has cut all the way round. Now I'm going to put half in that hand like that and half in that hand, and if I give it a quick twist like that, you'll see that the two halves come apart and leave the stone in this piece here. So with this half with no stone in, I can now hold it with my pincer grip at this end, cut it up, so I'm slicing it like that, and then slice each of these in half like that. So I'll carry on with those. With this one, we've got the stone in the middle still, so you may well be able to pull the stone out like that. This one's not going to come out, so I'm going to have to cut round it. So I'm going to cut down, turn it round, cut down that side, and then cut all the other pieces off so I don't waste any, like that. And then carry on cutting these pieces up so they're roughly the same size as the apple and pear pieces that you already have in your fresh fruit salad. Some small fruits won't need chopping up at all. You can see I've got some blueberries here. They're on some kitchen paper because I've washed them. You can just put those straight into your fruit salad like that. So other fruits that you won't have to prepare are blackberries, raspberries, perhaps if you're using any kind of currant, you won't need to chop those up, just tip them straight in your box. And finally, we're going to give our fruit salad a mix. We want to be very careful. We don't want to bruise any of the fruit that's in our box. So with a spoon, you're going to go down the sides and just turn your fruit salad into the middle of the box like that. And that will make sure that each piece of fruit gets covered in juice so it doesn't go brown, and that your fruit is evenly distributed through your fruit salad. So I hope you enjoy eating that later on today, and that can definitely be part of your 5 a day for today. Goodbye.